When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. Sorry guys. We're going to continue our story off where we left off last time, after the events of the underground laboratory, where Izuku fought the white twisted creatures that was once humans that was given some sort of serum to mutate their vampire quirk that transformed into abominations. While exploring in the laboratory, he did come across a young girl with a horn, with white hair with red eyes. Izuku's mother, Inko, took the girl under her care. Izuku head back to the pack house with the Alpha Alice, his proclaimed older sister. At least that's what Alice said. A few days has passed. Inko sent a good amount of blood supply to the pack house to keep her son well fed. Izuku had a few days learning all he can about werewolves in their pack, reading their books in the pack library. There you are, little brother. What can I do for you? I was just checking on you. You seem to be keeping yourself busy. I see you've been learning about the pack history, judging from the book you're reading. I was quite surprised you had your pack well documented. The Silver Moon pack is a very old pack. We like to keep things documented. There is a werewolf pack meeting in a couple days. I would like to have you present during that meeting by my side. A werewolf pack meeting, you say? Interesting. Very well, I will attend this with you. It gives me a good opportunity to see werewolf politics in action. This will be good a learning experience. Thanks, little bro. But wouldn't they react quite hostile for my appearance that so closely resembles a vampire? At points, most people can't tell the difference between me and a real vampire. Don't worry, majority of them, the alphas, are old friends. I just want to see their faces, and I like to keep you close. And the only human thing about you is your scent. You're pretty much a vampire. Well, I can't really argue with that. So, have you been eating enough? I know you really don't eat human food, at least to my knowledge. Food has no effect on me. I can still eat human food, but I just don't get any nutrients from food. My mom has sent plenty of blood supplies, so I don't have to find a human donor. I don't like live feeding from a complete stranger. You're one unique individual. I butchered that, by the way, but let's continue. For me, feeding from a human is quite an intimate thing. I find it quite embarrassing. So, what is this meeting for anyways? Just going to share some information we found in that underground laboratory before it self-destruct, so the other packs can relay the information to the Wolf Queen, to the Werewolf Queen. Let's just say one of the alphas has a close relation towards the Queen. Wait, you said Werewolf Queen? As Izuku has a complex expression, He's never heard of her before, at least to his knowledge. She's a very powerful Lycan. All werewolves came from her line. It's quite a similar situation with the Vampire Queen, with her bloodline, with all with all the vampires in Japan. And that's not including all her siblings, bloodlines. I suppose that would be quite similar in theory. I've heard of the Vampire Queen from my mom, but I've never met her before, or any of her siblings. I got some free time on my hands, so you're coming along. As Alice grabs onto Izuku's hand and forcefully drag Izuku out of the dusty library room and made their way outside of the pack house. And where are you taking me exactly? I like to take night walks, and it's a beautiful night. And I could enjoy and I can enjoy company tonight compared to my normal nights. And it gives us some time to talk. Alice let go Izuki's hand and wrapped her arm around his, linking their arms together. As they walk out of the pack house through the forest nearby, you handle yourself really well down in the lab. But you're a little bit reckless for my own liking. But that's a famous trait from your family. I don't know how things are going to go at this meeting. I just want you to be by my side in case things get out of hand. Not all the packs or the alphas are happy about the non-aggression treaty with the vampires. In that situation, I had no choice, but I do understand why you are worried. I'll try not to be as reckless in the future. Shouldn't really be a problem. And I'm normally not that reckless. I was in a tight situation. That would be most appreciated, Izuku. So how many packs are not liking this agreement between the Vampire Queen and the Werewolf Queen? I'm guessing, with the new information I required, they were the one who thought up the treaty. Yes, you are correct. It was an agreement between the two queens to stop hostility when they finally revealed themselves to humanity. There's only 2 packs that are not happy with the arrangement. The rest of the packs are fully committed to keep the treaty intact. Life has been a whole lot more easier for my species. But the 2 packs are not liking the non-agreement pack. They simply want more power. We might have to remove those 2 alphas eventually. I have a better grasp of the situation. If those 2 alphas try anything, I'll remove them. Personally, considering I'm a human, there won't be any fallback on the vampire side of things, and the rest of the pack can't accuse of me being... Sorry, give me a second, guys. And other packs can't accuse me of doing the Vampire Council's dirty work. Only orders that I've been given by that council was to figure out and take out, if necessary, this new uprising of vampire hunters. Don't worry, I won't act until those 2 alphas starts to make moves. Of course, I would ask you before I even acted. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I do appreciate the gesture. I don't think it'll come to that. Not for a while, at least. At least I'm hoping. Let's stop talking about pack business and enjoy the walk. So what do you plan to do from now on? There's not much I could do There's not much I could do about it right now until I get a new lead on my mission. So my mission's on hold. My mom has made it perfectly clear that I must stay with your pack until she finds a more permanent solution, whatever that would be. I personally don't want to be doing these missions for the Vampire Council. It's really annoying. I would rather just spend my time back at my manor, but that's no longer an option. I do believe you're... Oh, sorry. I do believe Inko did mention you like your solitude. I do. I do prefer to spend a lot of time to myself. It's been challenging to readjust to the new environment with the pack. I don't mind the pack. Notice the short time I've been exposed to your pack, I've become quite attached to them. They're a lively bunch. I do like to spar occasionally with the twins. Those two do like to fight. But yeah, my pack is quite lively. The Silver Moon pack has always been unique. I've already told the entire pack this, but there's been sightings of werewolf hunters, so just keep a lookout and inform me if you spot any. Is the main branch werewolf hunter on the move again? I know the main branch family of the werewolf hunters haven't been hunting werewolves for a long time since the peace agreement. And what I've heard about werewolf hunters from reading and hearing, talking to occasional vampire too, they're more fanatic than even vampire hunters. With those, with those humans, we're not on the nicest terms, but we're no longer killing each other. And werewolf hunters can be a nasty group of humans. But not all werewolf hunters are bad. But the bad outnumber the good, unfortunately. Only reason they haven't acted is because they're afraid of, well, the vampires. While Alice was still talking with Izuku, she was contacted through the mind link with one of her werewolves in her pack, as they inform her that two of their members of their family was just attacked by a hunter, by a group of, werewolf hunters, coming back from the city and getting supplies. We need to head back to the pack house. Two of the pack members got injured by some hunters. As Alice and Izuku ran at top speed back to the pack house and burst through the front door, seeing the two pack members heavily injured, as they removed the silver arrow that was laced with wolfbane that was in their gut. With their lack of strength, they told the Alpha what happened. What happened when they were trying to get their way back to the pack house, from where they were when they were attacked. While the hunters were walking away, they did overhear them talking about where they're located. The hunters didn't finish them off because they laced their stuff with wolfbane, so they thought they were going to die shortly afterwards. Izuku spoke up. I'll track them down for you and relay their location. After all, to you, after all, this is a werewolf matter. I won't engage them unless you ask. Thank you, I do appreciate it. Once I'm, once I make sure these two are stable, I'll figure out a solution to this hunter business. Izuku walked out to the pack house while taking his cell phone and begin with his cell phone, and begin to track down the the werewolves that were injured, where they were, so he could eventually pick up the scent of the hunters. Izuku finally caught the scent of the werewolf hunters, and he followed the trail, and led him into the wilderness to a huge structure. Sorry. He sees a large house in the middle of a compound filled with werewolf hunters. There's a sorry. There's at least what I've seen so far around 100 hunters. There's probably a lot more. This is a big group. They're definitely plotting something. Izuku took out his phone and called Alice. What did he find out? Found their location. It's a big group. Their numbers, at least I know so far, is about 100. I could give you a more accurate count. Here, give me a second. Hold up. As Izuku focuses vampire abilities from his quirk to hear the heartbeats of everyone in the compound, there's about 300 in there. That's a good amount of them. We don't have the numbers for that. Head back to the house. They're definitely they're definitely a concern. I'll bring that up in the meeting, as well as bring that in the meeting, as well with the other alphas. Their number clearly outnumber us, and there's no reason to stir the nest. Understood. On my way back to the pack house. Once Izuku got back to the pack house, the pack's beta led him to the large room where the pack holds meetings. As everyone's gathered up, besides the two injured wolves. Good you're here. Please, Good you're here. Please do a debriefing, so everyone is caught up. Very well. After I tracked the scent of those two pack members that was attacked, I caught the scent of the hunters and followed their trail to some sort of compound in the forest. Judging by their numbers, the pure scope of the structure, they've been there for a while. Their numbers is 300 strong, and judging by their equipment they're carrying, they're most likely any ammunition for guns, like most likely silver. In my honest opinion, they're up to something. Thank you, Izuku. We're not going to target them. I don't want to start something with them right now. We need to inform the rest of the different alphas of this situation. We need to come up with a strategy to handle these hunters. Everyone is to stay at the pack house until the end of the pack meeting. Now, I suggest everyone get a good night rest. It's been a stressful day. When everyone left the room, Alice slunk back into her chair and sighed heavily. Thanks for the night. As Alice has her hand over her forehead, massaging it. No problem. You just had to ask. You just have to ask, and I could kill them all for you, if you want. I bet I could accomplish that with my abilities. Not saying it would be easy, but it's possible. I have no doubt you can, judging from your display that I've seen so far. I'll deal with his hunters when the time comes. If they live or die, it's really up to them, really. As much as a threat these werewolf hunters are, there's a much larger threat out there. These vampire hunters, who we came across in that laboratory. They're troubling. I agree. That's why I don't want to confront the werewolf hunters at this current time. Izuku walked over towards Alice and picked her up from her chair and began walking out of the room. What exactly are you doing? Well, Miss Workaholic, you're going to bed. You really need to follow your own advice. And you're a lot stronger than you look. I'm a human with a vampire quirk. That have it's pretty much more of a vampire than human. Picking you up shouldn't be hard. As Izuku plays Alice in her bed. I'll see you tomorrow, sis. She was taken aback by that remark. She's always called him little brother or bro. She formed some sort of bond instantly when she first saw him. Nothing romantic, but she truly does consider him as a little brother. But Izuku never once called her sister, ever. You do care. I'm not so oblivious I don't notice the bond we formed since we first met. And I do see you like a older sister. I just never outright said it. Well, I'm going to head back to my room. If you need anything, just let me know. Well, good night, Izuku. Hey, Alice. Sleep well. As Izuku stepped out of the room, once Izuku entered his room, he pulled out his phone to call his mother. Son, I wasn't expecting a phone call from you tonight. How are you doing? How you're doing this beautiful night? I'm doing fine, Mom. You seem to be in good mood. I've been having a lovely time with little Aerie. Speaking of the kid, how is she doing? The young girl is doing much better now. She's a little shy, but she's getting better. But she's sleeping currently. I take it this is not a social call, son? Fortunately, no, Mom. It came to my attention there's a large werewolf hunter group or organization. I'm not really sure. Shacked up in the woods near the northeast from the city. They have a large compound of 300. That is troubling. I'll send someone to handle the situation. He'll be approaching you in the near future. Thank you, Mom. No problem at all, dear. So, how's things with the werewolves? Are they treating you well? Yes, they have. They've been very pleasant. It's good to hear. A mother worries. What about you, Mom? How you been doing? I've been good, even though I hate these long, drawn-out meetings with the Vampire Council. Things are going well. I did figure out a way to help your situation with the council. I just want you to continue your mission like normal. I already have plans in motion, so this probably will be the first and last job you do with the Vampire Council. What exactly are you plotting, Mom? Nothing too bad. Your mother has your well-being. Mother has your well-being her first and only concern. No matter what I do in the future, son, I do them because I love you. Don't worry, I do plan to reveal what I have planned in good time. My plans are still in the early phases, so there's still some time. It's good to hear from you again, son. It would be most appreciated if you would call more frequently. After all, I do worry. Will do, Mom. I would love to sit here and talk with you more, but I need to get going. I'll talk to you later, sweetheart. I have some things to do. As Inko disconnected the call, he could put his phone on the desk and lay down on his bed and turn off the light. As we skip 2 days later, Izuku found himself in a large room filled with werewolves. Some lichens, some are not. Alice is a lichen, just to let you guys know. Izuku standing right next to Alice, the alpha of the Silver Moon Pack. First of all, I want to thank all of you for taking your time to show up to this meeting. I know you're all curious why I had our meeting ahead of schedule. A few days ago, my pack and myself and my associate over here infiltrated a laboratory that a group of vampire hunters were used as some sort of protection. The facility we found in the laboratory kidnap humans with vampire quirks, turning them into some sort of abominations. I'm not so naive to believe that that was the only facility they have active. They were well too organized. And we also have a large amount of werewolf hunters in a huge compound of 300 strong. These two group of hunters are a threat to our very way of life. Izuku sat there patiently, listening to them argue back and forth, until one of the youngest alphas noticed him and brought up with the rest of the alphas. You understand the situation, Alice, but what I want to know is, why is a vampire even in the meeting? His involvement is appreciated, but he is still not one of us. I do apologize for that, Princess Winter. He's a human with a vampire quirk. Izuku was the main factor by taking down the laboratory. The only reason we know the numbers of the werewolf hunters is because of his efforts. My entire pack trusts him, and so do I. He is the son of one of the members of the Vampire Council, Izuku. Well, that does make sense. That they would send someone from the vampire side of things. Very well. I have no problem with his involvement in this meeting. I might be the daughter of the werewolf queen. I have no interest in antagonizing the vampires, after all. We are in peace, and I would rather not interrupt my mother's hard work. My main concern is the safety of my pack, and us as a whole species. Don't be fooled by my appearance, Izuku. Izuku, was it? I might look young, but I've been around for a couple hundred years. I'm just a slow grower. The moment Winter saw the human sat down that resembles a vampire, she walked up to his chair and sat on his lap, surprising all the alphas in the room, as she just sitting on his lap casual, whatever, all casual. I get a good feeling from you, Izuku, and you smell like pine wood. Head pats, please. Izuku can tell this girl is quite childish, despite her proclaim that she's older. And the look she's given him, he doesn't want to make her angry, so he surrendered and pat the young girl's head a little bit while they're discussing their meeting further. Alice would glance over to Izuku to see what they're up to, seeing Winter getting patted on the head while she's waving her feet back and forth on the large chair. If there's anything else you want to bring up in the discussion. Alice was just grateful that the alphas that weren't happy about the peace treaty by the vampires kept quiet and stayed on topic. And with the princess, she seemed to be content getting head pats from Izuku. This is the first meeting the princess has attended that she didn't try to start a fight with one of the alphas. She was just thankful that everything was peaceful this time around. As they end the meeting, the only alphas that are still in the room is Alice with Izuku with the young wolf girl that's apparently the daughter of the wolf queen, werewolf queen, still sitting on his lap. So, Izuku, what do you know of these vampire hunters? Do you have any leads on their whereabouts? Winter could tell he was about to stop giving her head pats. Don't you dare stop. I'm enjoying it too much. Continue. Continue with the head pats. I have no lead currently. I'll look into it. If I can't find anything, I'll bring it up to my mother. Mother should be able to find them. And once I find them or any information, I'll contact you. With a peace offering from my rude comments earlier. As Winter hopped off of Izuku's lap, it was very nice to meet you again, Alice. And it was extreme pleasure to meet you, Izuku. As she head back with her pack that she did bring, and go back to her own territory. As Winter followed her pack out of the meeting place, it basically said what I just repeated again, but head back to her territory. It was a very surprising interaction. That alpha was very strange. She's mostly violent, but she seems to be taking a liking to you, and having her favor as an ally would be a smart move considering she's the daughter of the werewolf queen. What are you going to do? Sorry, what are you going to do now? Considering the werewolf hunters are near my territory, the likelihood of the other packs getting involved outside of Winter is very unlikely. My mom is having a vampire. Keep an eye on them. Just in case. I say a word and I'll wipe them out. With my ally, I guess, whenever I meet he or she. It's true, we need to deal with these. We need to deal with them. But I can't allow you to go by yourself. We'll talk about this another time. Let's head back to the pack house. It's getting kind of late. Suppose you're right. Izuku and Alice made their way back to the pack house. After the meeting with the rest of the alphas, everyone turned in for the night. And to sleep on what they're going to do next. Especially Alice. Izuku took out his phone out of his pocket and dialed a number. Izuku can hear a female voice on the other end of the phone. Izuku, it's good to hear from you. You went dark for a while, and I thought you might have died. Sorry about that, I was a bit busy. I'm planning something. Figured I would give you a ring and see if you're interested in joining me. What exactly are you planning? Must be something fun if you're calling me. There's a large group of werewolf hunters in the forest, in some sort of compound. I figure I would invite you in, invite you in some little action. If not, I can handle it by myself. Werewolf hunters, you say? I'm willing. I'm sorry. I'm in. It sounds like fun. Toga's in as well. She's in the room with me. As Toga grabbed onto the phone, as Shoka handed the phone over to Toga, she only uses Dobby for her name She doesn't like to use her real name. That's why she made up the name Dobby. So just let you guys know. I usually. Anyways, let's just continue. Hey, Izu. I'm on board. It sounds like fun. When are you doing this? 3 days. Meet me at my safe house in the city. Here's the address. As Izuku sent a text message with his address on it to the safe house that he used when he first arrived in the Vampire Court District. How many were we talking about here? Please tell me it's over 100. About 300. Now you have my full attention. Things are going to be so much more fun now. I've been staying with the pack. I've been staying with a werewolf pack. Sorry, guys. They probably want a piece of the action as well. Seem to keep interesting company, Izu. I suppose I do, Toga. I'll stop by my old place tomorrow. After I talk to the Alpha. Have a good night, girls. Nighty-night, Izuku-kun. Izuku walked over to the window, then immediately jumped out of it. Izuku used his vampire-like speed to get to the location where the werewolf hunters were at their compound. As Izuku made it to the compound fairly easy. Izuku standing against a tree, watching them from a distant cliff. Watching them from a distance on top of a cliff. Izuku took out a small notepad and pen and started writing things down while staring at the compound. Izuku sensed a vampire nearby while he was observing the hunters. I take it you must be Izuku. That I am, and you are? Well, how rude of me. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Kira Bloodmoon. As he has one of his hands on the right side of his chest, as he bows in greetings, I came on your mother's behalf. And the Vampire Council is very concerned about this situation. This sort of situation can make things difficult, keeping the peace. With the humans, werewolves, and vampire things. Humans, werewolves, and vampire things. Especially with the humans with vampire quirks. Things are very on edge. Things could easily turn violent if things don't get fixed soon. But enough about that. So these are the hunters causing a stir. How big are their numbers? 300 last time I checked. Out of curiosity, are you able to morph into a bat? I know having the ability to transform. I know you have a vampire quirk. But I didn't know your... Give me a second, guys. And I know your mother. And I could barely tell you're a human. Only reason I know you're a human is just by the scent alone. You're much like your mother in that aspect. And morphing into a bat is one of the lesser abilities that a vampire has access to. Yeah, I'm able to morph. I've morphed a few times. I really don't like it, but I'm able. Excellent. Let's take a look. Let's take a closer look, shall we? As well, as Izuku placed his notepad back in his jacket and morphed into a small white bat, as Kira morphed into a pure black bat, as both bats have red eyes. As the small bats begin to fly over to the compound, and they both notice a guy with a lot of severed hands over his body as they perch on top of a cabin house inside the compound and watch the scene play out. So, do we have a deal? Yeah, you got yourself a deal. Shigaraki nod at Kirigiri as two portals open up as two Nomus come walking out. These are called nomus. In one command, they can fix your little dog problem. This one over here used to be a werewolf, and that one was half vampire. They were transformed into nomus. They are pretty much like toys. While Izuku and Kira are still in their bat forms, perched on the cabin on the roof, watching the strange human with severed hands take one of the hands off his arm and use it to shake the hand of the leader of the werewolf hunters. As the two strange humans portal away in a purple portal, Izuku and Kira flew back to their original position and morphed back into their normal state. Those insolent humans. As Kira crunched his teeth when he found out that they did some sort of experiment on a fellow vampire, even though it was a half, it was still a vampire, and a werewolf. He was more upset over the vampire thing than the werewolf, but he still is concerned. Kira punched a hole through the tree that was right next to him. They're all gonna die. What's the Silver Moon's pack opinion on this situation? As he fixed his outfit, as he regained his composure, on edge. They're on edge. Two of their own pack members already been injured by the group of werewolf hunters. They're still alive though, hurt, but still breathing. But the simple fact they were able to attack them coming back from the city. I would like to have an audience with the Alpha. The main concern right now is outside of those abominations, where I'm going to stay. I could always stay at the hotel nearby. You can stay at my safe house. I'm having everyone gathered there tomorrow anyways. So I really don't see the harm in it. Appreciate it. I'm still quite amazed how much you resemble a vampire compared to other humans with vampire quirks. Outside your scent, you look exactly like a vampire. In technical terms, you look like a pureblood. Fascinating. Mistaken for a vampire before. It's a hassle sometimes, but oh well. It is what it is. I might as well stop correcting people because I pretty much resemble more of a vampire than a human because of my quirk. My body, because of my quirk, it genetically altered my body somehow. Pretty much. Don't really see a difference anymore. That's probably one of the many reasons why the council member Inko, got a seat on the council. Your mother's more vampire than she is human. Your mother is highly respected in the vampire community, and you're a bit of a hot topic with the vampire community. You never leaving the manor until now. Ever since I was younger, I had a hard time controlling my hunger, so it wasn't safe for me to be outside with other people. I was quite deadly during that time. It seems like you got a handle of it. It seems under control, so far I've seen. Got a lot better at it. Looks like we're here. As Izuku opens the front door and allowed open the front door as they were talking the whole time they were running the whole time while they were talking. So they were talking while they were going to the safe house, basically. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Here, I'll show you around. As he walks over towards the kitchen area, there should be fresh blood in the refrigerator. As they walk up to the second story, my room is to the right, so pick any other rooms besides that one. Two of my associates will be coming by tomorrow. Not sure what time, though. Just to let you know, hands off. Of course, I would never dream of it. I take it your two associates are the female variety. They are, so you know. They are, and to let you know, the alpha of the Silver Moon Pack is female as well. So don't piss her off, please. I wouldn't dream of it. The last thing I want to do is anger a angry werewolf running at me with those sharp fangs and teeth. No, thank you. Especially those claws. Very unpleasant, really. I'm well known for my negotiations with werewolves or lichens. I know what lines I shouldn't cross. I didn't gain my position by my devilish good looks. Who do you think those humans were? The weird looking ones. Not sure yet. They are a bigger threat than the werewolf hunters, but we have no intel on them. I'll be bringing this up to the council after we deal with these hunters. This sucks. I'm gonna have so much paperwork. Ah, no sleep for the wicked, I guess. I read through the reports of that underground laboratory in the Vampire Court District. Those creatures, what I saw, look hideous. We're lucky enough to get a couple of them for study before the lab exploded itself. I wasn't expecting to come across those monsters when I first went down there. That's probably not their only place of operation. I do agree on that. They're way too organized. Just to be in one location. I should probably head back to the pack house. I'll come by tomorrow. There should be one or two coffins in the basement. If you need to sleep. I believe there's one coffin in one of the rooms. I believe the room right next to mine. It's been fully furnished, so it's nice to sleep in. I'll see you tomorrow as Yizigu walked out of the safe house and made his way back to the pack house through the window. As Alice is sitting on his bed. I take it you had a nice night stroll, did you? As she watches him close the window. Hey Alice, I was just doing some recon. You know, you could have just used the front door. Sorry, force of habit, and I really didn't want to wake up the pack. I figured you would notice I was gone. Once your scent wasn't no longer in the house, I was worried about your safety, but I wasn't going to confine you to the pack house. I know you could take care of yourself. I take it you found some new information about the werewolf hunters. And I few things out with a other vampire under my mom's command. I know you did mention one of the vampires would come and investigate, but I was surprised that they even bothered, that they even took action in the first place. I will be debriefing everyone all at once, so I don't have to repeat myself at my safe house tomorrow. I really don't want to be up all night debriefing you, then do the same thing over the next day. Probably for the best. I'm getting kind of tired. And I also called two of my associates. They will be helping us with these hunters. One of them has a vampire quirk, not as advanced as mine, but she should be good in combat, hopefully. Haven't seen her in action yet, but they seem pretty strong. And the other one has some sort of fire quirk. These girls, do you trust them? Haven't stirred me wrong so far. They were the only reason why I found the information about they're the only reason why I know the information that led me to the laboratory. You have faith in them, then I have no reason to to think otherwise. You've been very busy. I just had a gut feeling they were up to something, those werewolf hunters. They became a lot more bigger threat than I originally thought. I will... I'm gonna head off to bed. Yeah, Alice walks out of the room, goes back to her room. Don't stay up too late. Even though I know you don't really sleep. Don't worry, I'll be going to bed pretty soon. I'm just going to go over the notes that I collected. See you in the morning. As Alice walked out of the room and shut the door behind her and head back to her room to sleep for the night. She couldn't sleep while her little brother was out. She was extremely worried. And that's where we're going to cut it. Hope you guys have a good night and day during my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.